Good evening all, welcome back to A Place in Space. It is of course Tuesday, there's new comics, let's do it. Batman 89 issue number 2 comes out to you strong this week. If you've been following Tim Burton's love affair with all things Batman set in the 80s, it's back. Issue 2 follows Harvey Dent's further departure into the murky world of being Two-Face. Enjoy, they have not been hanging around. If you've been reading it, jump on it, it will not last for very long. Extreme Carnage has issue number 7 / the one-shot Agony out this week, so if you've been doing that via issues or one-shots, there is your latest instalment here. Let's move over to Fantastic Four for just a few seconds. This is issue 35 in the current run, and apparently 60 years Marvel will have you since the Fantastic Four debuted proper. John Romita Jr. is a man of divisive opinion. I like him. I do think he needs the right kind of crew to work with, shall we say. This is perfect for him. John Romita Jr. should be drawing the Thing. He is huge, blocky, and fits perfectly to John's pencils. It's probably the best I've seen his artwork looking forever. The backup strip is also gorgeous. Freeze that if you need, and have a look at the talent on that book. There's a lot. Vampyverse comes to you from Dynamite. Now, Dynamite do pulp exceptionally well. They do it even better when Adam Hughes is knocking out covers like that. So if you fancy yourself Fangs and Pulp, Dynamite have you covered. Eternals, Thanos Rising is out now. This is number 1, brought to you by Kieran Gillen. Dustin Weaver, he does this. Don't expect Assad Ribic. That's perfect. He gives you 80s craziness. Okay? So if you needed another Thanos Rising story in your lifeline, please be assured these guys have you covered, because that looks bloody sensational. Future State is not completely done. Future State Gotham is somewhat dragging its heels, but it is sensational. Another one I want to show you, Paige, because the main story is fantastic. And Raphael Grandpa is doing the backup strip, who's possibly even more insane than last time. Okay, so if you fancy yourself some Batman black and white goodness, that's very cool. I want to pause for just 2 seconds on this, because Harley Quinn is a character that's near and dear to my heart, but in my opinion, she doesn't always get the justice she deserves. Paul Dini is mwah for me. He writes her perfectly. This looks awesome, however. It may not escape many of you that DC editorial have not really allowed the character to be what she should be, let's say, in recent years. This looks to correct that massively. Harley and Quinzel and Pamela Isley's relationship is complicated, but this looks to do it absolute justice. Artwork is brought to you by the same team that did Giant Days, which A, is bloody hilarious, and B, awesome. Okay, so you fancy yourself some proper Harley Quinn, that looks magnificent. Also, I Am Batman. It's brought to you by John Ridley. Now, if you've been following the adventures of one Mr. Jace Fox recently, he has taken up the mantle proper since Bruce has been fanning about for 7 years in DC's canon. This looks to correct it hugely. Oliver Coipel is fantastic. Take a gander at that. Pick up issue 1. There has already been an issue 0, but that looks to start you off just as proper as well. It looks great. Greg Capullo has given you that variant cover, as has Francesco Martino on that one. So if you fancy a little bit of choice, they're great. I want to move over to Boom again super quickly, because they've been A, knocking it out the park, and B, giving you horror of late. More looks to continue that. If you miss Something is Killing the Children this week, give that a shot. A lot of you have slept on it. It didn't do brilliantly on pre-order. Why? I've got no idea, because it looks fantastic. I want to show the variant covers, because to a cover they are all beautiful. This is one of my favourites. This is cover C, but I do want to spotlight this for just 2 seconds. This is the 1 in 10 variant cover, and that looks like the poor lady there is drowning in murky tar. It's horrific in a very fitting way for the book. Behemoth, they are currently bringing you Promise Me Darkness. They bring you a book about cyberpunk and poaching this week. It looks to be a complete and utter random one-shot. Very cool. Sorry, that's not a one-shot. That is a 3-issue mini-series. And Star Wars have got you Boosh for the War of the Bounty Hunters one-shot. Let's pause, however, on Jeff Lemire for just a few seconds, because he brought you Maze World last week in the Deep and Meaningfuls. This teams him up with Andrea Sorrentino, who you may remember from Gideon Falls, you may remember from Joker Killer Smile. Either way, they will kick you in the arse and then back again. They're brutal when they're working together. This looks to be a stunning sci-fi epic. I want to show the middle page. Look away if you don't want to see it, but this is what Sorrentino does. You ready? Woof. That boy can draw with the best of them. A few quick seconds, I think, for covers of the week, and then we're good. This is Batman 89 again, issue number 2. This is the variant cover. Mitch Gerards brings you that, which is lovely. This is Danny Go. That's the cover C, 1 in 25 for this week's Harley Quinn series. But we're going to move it over to a classic, Mr. Francesco Martino for this. That's the, I believe, his first ever Batman Beyond cover. For Batman Urban Legends issue 7, back to Primordial and Jeff Lemire for just 2 seconds. This is Christian Ward giving you a very lucid cover for him. He's normally hallucinogenic. Black Widow is brought to you by Adam Hughes, which is just beautiful and woof-worthy. Mike Del Mundo has stopped kidding around for just a second. He gives you that, which for my money is one of his most original covers in just about forever. Loving that. You might remember all them years ago, Ben Oliver did that Nightwing cover, half Nightwing, half zombie. He's done it this week again with Punchline. Love that. When that boy draws in blue, he's brilliant. And I can't believe I'm about to say this, but Alex Ross has given you Iron Man issue 11, but he's been outdone by Razar on Miles Morales on the decks. What am I saying? Iron Man issue 12. That's the Miles Morales 10-year anniversary cover. I think I said that right this time. See you in a week.